Now let's turn to the President-elect Bola Tinubu, whom, from what I read, you recently visited or were shown on social media to have visited. That suggests that you're making reconciliation moves. What are the reasons for that, and what would you say to your followers, the obedience, who might, in a sense, feel betrayed by that move, if it did in fact happen?
Charles, it did not happen. I've never visited him. I didn't. You know, these are one of the things I'm telling you. They've turned the whole thing into a joke. So what it is now is, what are we going to do to crush this person? What are we going to do to label him this? If it is not to label him tribal bigot, religious bigot, if it's not sticking, maybe we'll find his family, maybe have a love child somewhere, maybe all sorts of things. You know, duplicated identity, everything. Because I've been to the UK about 3 times this year, you know, this issue. So it's all about, oh, let's go to Washington and announce to them that is treason, that is involved in this, involved in that. Charles, I did not visit anybody.
Okay, well, that's a clarification.
So my followers are saying, will remain steadfast in the cause we've chosen. And that is to do the right thing. We went into election with a strong faith in the law that was signed by Mr. President, with a strong faith in the statements of Professor Mahmoud, which was said globally, said it in Washington, he said it in Chatham House, in places where even other electoral bodies don't come to say anything. He said it all over Nigeria. Even when people doubted it, he said nobody should doubt it. It's going to be this real time. Why do we have to go through that? Just why do we have to? Why is this country built that things must be wasted?
So why do you think he said those things and did something else?
We spent nearly $1 billion for this mess. We could have just saved the money. After all, if the university striking lecturers were giving 400 billion, there wouldn't have been no strike. We would have just asked Mr. President, you're going, please appoint somebody of your choice. You would have saved everybody, the parties that were running around, all those monies people use for campaign and everything, running around, even those who shared money for their primaries, they would have saved all that money, even for the forms, and use it to invest in the 2 critical areas that is keeping this country underdeveloped: education and health. If we have put 100 billion in primary health care that have just collapsed, and we have the highest infant mortality, surpassing India, that is 1.4 billion people. Nigeria have surpassed India in infant mortality. If we had put 100 billion naira on that, it would have made all the difference. We didn't. We put it in the election. And then we came up with this. How?
But why do you think he went to all those places, Chatham House and all the places around the world?
I don't know. That's what I said.
And said those things and then did something else.
Yes, that's what I'm worried about. And this is not being said by somebody who is uneducated. It's been said by a respected professor.
But does that give...
That questions the entire... You see, whenever I talk about that educational qualification, it's not a measure of integrity. That's what it should be.
Yeah, but the you're suggesting that it was necessarily something that had to do with integrity. They're arguing that it might have been, or that it had something to do with technical glitches.
Which technical glitches? You had three elections the same day. The other two went through the same promise you made. The most important election in this country is the election, the presidential election. That's where we have issues. That's where we have our problems. That's what we need to solve. That's where we need competence, capacity, integrity, and everything that character, everything that is required to move it forward. And that is the only one that you have glitch. Which glitch? Can they explain the glitch? Have they ever explained it to anybody? INEC is still uploading the result till today. Does it make sense?
Well, presumably that explanation they'll be forced to make it in court. And of course...
No, it's not even making it in court. You look at the country. Charles, we have a country. We're not the only country globally. There's hundreds of countries globally. Why must our own be always a problem?
Well, you and your party, the Labour Party, are now preparing to enter into a storm of the unknown, into legal, uncharted territory. You've filed a legal challenge in court. What is your sense of how it's all looking as your appointment with that tribunal draws near?
Well, the court will decide. I believe the justices also are on the spot. It is for them to interpret the Constitution, whichever way they do it. I've done it before. I've challenged similar rascality in my state. I've challenged it when I was impeached. I've challenged it when there was issue of tenor interpretation. So I'm challenging it again. And the judges are also on trial. Because on trial of interpretation of our Constitution, of the law, of the process. Like I said, what we are challenging is not just about who is there or who is not there. It is the process. Just the process through which people get to anywhere is far more fundamental than what they do thereafter. I recall asking one of the professors a few days ago, I said, can I be a professor? Can I start writing I'm a professor without having to do the necessary work of being a professor? He said, no. I said, okay. Who said I'm not probably more intelligent than most professors? But there's a process. And it's that process that I want people to respect. There's a law. That's why we went through that electoral law that we celebrated. And that's what we're challenging.
Well, obviously, there's a lot to go through. I mean, the case is in court and we'll have to wait to see how it goes. But let me turn to the internecine crisis that is leaving or tearing your party, the Labour Party, apart, or appears to be doing so, with public fights over the chairmanship, jockeying for position, etc. What's really going on in the Labour Party?
There's nothing happening in the Labour Party. And I like what you said, there's nothing wrong in Labour Party. It's the same rascality that is going on all over the place. The chairman of Labour Party is Barrister Julius Abure. That I can tell you.
But you have to admit that all this wrenching, wrangling and sort of petty fights and quarrels over positions, etc. I mean,
which position are they fighting for?
Well, I mean, we see it virtually every day.
Because people are paid, people are hirelings, being paid to distort facts and everything. For example, Charles, I've never met Mr. Papa. And supposedly, you can say that I'm a meaningful figure in Labour Party. I'm the presidential candidate. So, but I've not met the other party chairman, and he's not looking for me. So, there was a purpose. It's because of the transactional politics we do, where rather than spend our energy and time trying to do the right thing, we spend our energy and time trying to do the wrong thing, paying people to do the wrong thing, paying people to create, because we live off this confusion. In Labour Party, we don't have an issue. The party is intact. The party is working. The party was founded by Labour, NLC, TUC, the Labour organization. They founded the party. That's why today I had to quietly go and join them, solidarity in what they're doing, because they are the owners and we're working seamlessly in as it's supposed.
Well, I mean,
but you have to have all these problems by paid agents and everything. And that notwithstanding, because we're a family, we're even trying to bring everybody, even those to say they've paid you, maybe you've done the job they wanted to do, please come, let all of us be a family.
Right, because I mean, I'm sure you know that people, I mean, it doesn't inspire confidence in the public when they see a party that they believed in was going to reshape this country and repurpose things. I mean, you know, they were entrusting this country, or were planning to entrust, at least some people, this country to your party. I mean, and to them, and people have made a lot of comments about this. I mean, it seems like you're no different from the other parties that you criticize.
Because those who live off the confusion, who are already in other party, will not go away without tearing away, trying to, you know, create confusion everywhere. That's what it is. They're not going to keep quiet. I've said it before. Whenever I talk to the opinions, I said to them, don't think these people are going to go away saying, no, we're happy. No, they're not going to do that. It's impossible. But if we stay on doing the right thing, eventually we'll win. And that's what we want to continue doing.
Right.
And I assure you, that's where we are.